Okay, we're on day 2 now. The cutting out of material was a lot more strenuous than I thought. I woke up with really sore legs. I just ran some errands with my friends and now I'm a little tired. So I'm not sure if I'm going to get everything that I did want to do today done, but we'll see how I feel. It's just some overlocking that I want to get done today, so hopefully just pinning and overlocking, I'll still get everything that I want to get done. I had a read through my instructions just then. I will be overlocking for both the lining and the outer material. I will be overlocking the front and back pieces together, so of course they're then a cloak. While reading the instructions, I'm still a little confused as to how the capelets work in regards to putting them on, but for now I'm just gonna pin and overlock the front and back pieces together, and that's what we're doing for now. I've just figured out which ones are the front and which ones are the back pieces, so I'm just going to start by pinning the back pieces together, and then I'll add the front pieces once I've got that done. I'm gonna get this back piece overlocked before I attach the front pieces, because I would rather not confuse myself, because I think I would confuse myself if I tried to pin it all at once. So let's overlock it. And just a little fun fact before I get into this, I have this weird thing where with the overlocker and the sewing machine, if I have any shoes on of any kind, I can't feel the pedal, so I can't tell how much pressure I'm putting on the foot. So I need to take my shoes off. Just a little bit of fun fact for you, just in case you're wondering. I just realized that I probably should have double checked that yes, my overlocker was working good, because I just changed the thread over before. But we're already here, it looks fine, Ooh. Alright, so now the back pieces are overlocked together. I think I did a decent job in getting the seams as well as I could. However, now looking at it, instead of cutting right on the stripe for this bit, I should have come in a little bit more so that that really could look like it had a full stripe in between that. But anyway, that's fine. So yep, so that's all nice and neat from my overlocker in there. No fraying for that. And now I'm just going to attach my front pieces to this, pin them up, and then just overlock it all together, and I will show you how that looks when it's done. Well, hey, don't that look neat? That's alright, that's looking cloaky. That's not bad. I'm assuming those should hopefully match up. I was noticing when I was doing them, oh, sorry about the camera. Oh, hang on. No, I'm doing it wrong. Here we go. My lines ended up matching up a little bit as I was putting it on, so I'm really happy about that. I was worried they weren't going to be able to match, but we got there. Yeah, rinse and repeat. Time to do the lining. Let's check back in a bit. Alrighty, we have some pros and cons with this. So the pros, we've got the lining and the outer layer all overlocked together. That's all together. That's nice. So that's done. Now, as much as a long billowy cloak sounds nice, for my purposes, I don't find that functional at all. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to trim a bit of the bottom. Whoop, there we go. Maybe up to this this second lining of the lines because I would like the length to just hover over the ground, because for the Gamaraka and Barossa Med Fair, they are in ovals and like grass fields. Both of them are in autumn and winter, so it's cold, potentially wet, and I don't want to have a muddy cloak at the end of the day. So I'm just going to shorten the cloak length just by a little bit, so it's enough that it's hopefully just going to hover over the ground, so as tall as me. Because I don't want to wash this too often, so higher hem on the cloak means less drag on the ground and less dirt. So those are what I've done and the pro, so it's basically done. I was hoping to get the edges cut and shortened. However, for some reason, literally this last bit, the orange there, up to this point where my thumb is to the end there, my overlocker was stuffing up, and now it's not doing the overlocker thing. It's just not connecting anything. So I'm done for today. I've gotten all of this done. I'm glad it stuffed up at the end of this rather than the first amount of everything, the seams. I'm gonna have a break. I am maybe gonna try rethreading the machine, but everything looks normal. I am working tomorrow. I have the next day off. If I can't fix my overlocker, we're going on a road trip to Mum's. We're gonna pay Mum a visit, and we're gonna finish it all then. Today's done, and I'll see you in a second in your time, and we'll see what's gonna happen. I fixed it. Morning. Nice day for sewing, ain't it? This is the third day I'm working on this cloak, hopefully the last. We'll just have to see what we get done today. I'm really happy that I was able to take a breather, have a reassess of what happened with the overlocker. I had to rethread the overlocker, and because I didn't do it quite right, one of the threads had slipped out, and then of course it wasn't threading the way it was supposed to. But I found it and I fixed it, so we can continue with that. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to shorten the ends here, maybe about that much, or I'll see how long I want it, so that instead of dragging on the floor, the cloak hovers above the ground just that little bit, so that I hopefully don't get as much dirt and mud on my cloak, as the events I'm planning on wearing it at are grassy fields with potential wet weather, so I want to keep it clean as much as possible. And so now it's time to get trimming. I worked out that 30 centimeters was going to be a good amount to take off for the new hemline. I decided that the easiest way to do that is to just put the pattern over the top and then cut that out using it like a guide. I got up to halfway through the cloak and then decided to fold it in half and use the cloak itself for the rest of its guidelines. Now that we've cut it to our new length, it's time to put it through the overlocker and then finish that off. And there's just one more thing we need to do before we get going on the overlocker. I'm going to live dangerously and not pin before I put this in the overlocker. And now that the ends are all overlocked and together, it is inside out at the moment. So now the neckline is still open, so I'm gonna shove it all through that, and then it's going to be the right way round. Alright, I think I'm going to give the edges a quick ironing. Well, would you look at that? The bit that stuffed up last time, that's open. I am going to ladder stitch that in place later. That's my marker. So the cloak is now all ironed out, so that's done. According to this here, I think I've got the capelets and the hood obviously left to do. I'm gonna take a little bit of time to read through this because when I did it last week, I think I was confused of how it went through. So hopefully this time I understand it a bit more and we'll see how it goes together. Okay, for the next thing that I need to do is I need to get the hem of the outer layers or the outer edges of the upper and lower capelets done. So I am going to overlock their edges so that they don't fray, and then I'll be able to fold them over, iron them, and then I'll just sew that, and that's what we're going with, and I'll meet you back once I've done that. I'm still a little confused on how I need to put these capelets together. I already had an idea of how they had to be put together. So on my own thinking, oh, I'm sure it goes this way. I'm reading the instructions. And I'm pretty sure that's how to go, but I'll still try and follow what I think they're trying to tell me in the instructions. So we've got to pin the right side of the upper capelet to the wrong side of the lower capelet at the front edges. So I'm just gonna turn that over. So now that's, so now that's the wrong side of the lower capelet. That's the right side of the upper capelet, and we need to pin these together. Wrong side, right side, they need to go together. Okay, so they're now pinned. It says to stitch the seams and trim seams close to stitching. I'm obviously just going to overlock that now, but before I do that, I'm going to read the next instructions, which is to turn the upper capelet to outside and press. So I think exactly what I did with the cloak. So Oh, I understand now. Then it folds over like that, and then we've got them both with the right sides on the right side. Okay, cool. I will overlock these pieces now that I understand this. Alrighty, I've now pinned my capelets to the neck of the bigger cape, or the cloak of it. And I think that is it for that. It's looking a bit fancy. Alright, we have our hood to get onto now. Okay, if you can see on this bit here, we have a pleat that we have to make in all of the hoods. I've left pin markings of where that needs to go. Now it says, to make a pleat in each hood section on outside, fold along the solid line, bring fold to broken line, pin and baste. Now, I'm assuming all the excess of where we fold, we're not going to see it. This is the right side of my material, so it will be on the outside. So if I just fold those in there, then that's my pleat. Yeah, and it says to pin and baste. So I learned that basting is hand sewing really loose stitches in place to keep the material together, almost like pinning it, but you've got the thread and a loose stitch holding it together. What I am going to do is, I think I'm just going to pin the pleats and have the pins on the outside, so that when I overlock and stitch together, it goes over the fold and I can just pull out the pins that way. Because there's been many a stuff saying I need to baste it, but I haven't got time for that. So I'm just going to pin in place my pleats and hope I do it right. Alright, so I've just pinned the outer layer of the hood. I'm assuming this here is the front of the hood and my face will be coming out here. So I figured I wanted the fold to come behind me, so that's folded over that way. That's how I've done it. We shall see if I did it the correct way in a bit once I do the rest. Yep, I did it wrong. This longer part is actually the front, so I have to swap that to having the pleat go that way. But that's fine. I'm gonna do that. Okay, the neighbours oh so rudely decided to mow their lawns just then, but that allowed me to have a lunch and anime break. I put the pins or the pleat the wrong way, so I've just corrected that on both of them. I've pinned the outside of everything so I can overlock all of that, and then I should be able to put them inside each other and then just overlock the neckline onto the actual cloak. So we are nearly finished. I love it so much when I notice things. I've just finished all the overlocking. This is the front, that is the front, this is the neckline. How's my face gonna come out of that? Like, these here, they now need to be unpicked, which is my favorite thing. Yeah. Alright, cool. I just wasted an hour unpicking all of this. Pinned it together. I had to do a lot of thinking to try and make sure I was putting it the right way round. so that when I flip it up back through the neck, it'll come out right sides. So yeah, I'm just gonna overlock this and hope it's done. All right, now it's nicely overlocked. Let's hope I did it all the right way this time. Oh boy, I didn't. Oh boy. Wait. I can fix this. All right. We should be fine. Everything is the right way around. Now, I just need to iron these edges again, and then I should just need to overlock the neck in place, and oh boy, we're going to be done. We are nearly done. Oh boy, now I know why they actually say which materials to use for this is actually very thin. One final overlock of this and it should be done. To say I was foolish might be an understatement. There's a lot of layers of material here. It's too thick for my overlocker to handle, thankfully, because I already stuffed up my overlocker the same way last time. I was smart enough to not put it through too much, so I only got this chunk done. So I'm gonna blanket stitch all of this, and I'll let you know whenever that gets done. Alright, hopefully this is the second to last day I need to be working on this. I just need to do a blanket stitch on my hood, attach that to the cape or the cloak itself. The other day should be when I hopefully pick up my cloak pin from my friend, and then I'll just be making my holes in that so I just can put my pin in the same spot every time. But while I'm starting off doing the blanket stitch, I'm just going to have a ramble because I had fun at archery this morning. I'm going to stop myself right there. As much as I would love to tell this story about my fun archery morning, this video is taking way too long to edit because of all the subtitles I need to put on. So I'm not adding a happy archery story time onto that, unfortunately. As much as I like having the subtitles in my videos now, it is far too time consuming than I really have time for. And since it's not actually relevant to the video, I'm just gonna cut that bit out. If, however, anyone is actually interested in hearing my archery story, leave a comment if you actually want to hear it. And maybe I'll just put up a video of just bits so you can hear my story. Because, I mean, hey, you gotta give the people what they want. Cool, I just finished doing all of the blanket stitching, attaching the hood, so that's done, and yeah, it is literally done. The only other thing is just hopefully I can have a cloak pin by next week, and I shall show you what I'm gonna do with that when I get to it. I'm pretty dang happy with this. As much as I would like to put it on and do a video of it now, I'm gonna save that till I'm all pretty and made up for Medfair. However, now I'm going to put it straight back on because it is very warm and it makes me feel comfy and cool. Morning. Where we left off from last night, I proceeded to wear the cloak basically the rest of the night, and I noticed some issues that I think Rachel Maksy also had. Because I've hand stitched and this is a raw edge around the collar, it's a bit scratchy and began to be a bit uncomfortable after a while. So I'm going to do what Rachel did, and she put just a covering over that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of the flannelette material that I had from what I've cut off the bottom of the cloak and just use that, and then just put around the collar just to separate some of the lining a bit. I think that's gonna look cool and interesting, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'll just ladder stitch it all in place, and I'll just show you what it looks like when it's done. I finally finished it. So it's now nice and neat looking. And now it should protect me from the open stitching. So that's nice.